I think it's old news now that feminist frequency is going broke. And some people are celebrating. I personally don't care. The damage was done. But you have these people like this gaming guru here, which compares. I'm not making this up. Like, I need to constantly mention that I'm not making things up because it's so crazy. But no, this guy compares her to Mozart and Beethoven. All right, because Mozart was given a free home in Vienna, and so were Beethoven. They were always being funded, supported, but had music much ahead of the time. Anita will go down in history more than most games journalists. Awards represent quality work. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that in a couple of 100 years, just like people put the Beethoven music to relax now, they're going to put the video from Anita Sarkeesian in order to swallow all that pop culture in. Jesus. Yeah, I mean, I find it very interesting, this case, looking back. It was nothing to do with Anita Sarkeesian. It was just a group of people, far leftist socialists, people with gender studies, which wanted to parasite the tech industry and to make money out of it, like ticks sucking the dollar. And in order to do so, they used Anita Sarkeesian as a figurehead. So she would go online and post really outrageous things, really inflammatory things. And when people gave her the smallest backlash, they would go like, oh, she's getting harassment just because she's talking about games. Like, they wouldn't mention that she always took the opportunity to climb on dead bodies before they even got called, like after a school shooting, you know, trying to push her ideology and trying to push her feminism on the fact that a tragedy happened. No, they didn't mention that. It was just when people getting angry and looking at it, it's like, have you no decency, woman? They would be like, oh, they're picking on me because I'm a woman. You know, like that was little it. And she managed to appear in a lot of mainstream media outlets because the journalists from mainstream media are made the same school with the journalists from the gaming press. She was really hyped up, so you would have like your soccer mom, your average dad, or someone like that just see a pretty face over there and go like, wow, you know, like it's not fair that she's getting all these harassments because she's a woman. And since then, like, no one has been arrested over it. Like, you think, you know, death threats are a crime? Like, you're not allowed to do it? You would think that in all these years, at least one person, at least one, would have been arrested. But no, like, no one was arrested. Because she found the philosopher's stone. She would take the death threats, mold them around like chakra, and turn them into cash. And, you know, this whole thing was to raise awareness, I suppose, on how problematic the video gaming industry is, and then to shame the gaming developers, to shame the corporations, call them racist, sexist, misogynistic, so that the corporation goes like, oh, how can we change? You know, you keep accusing us, but can you give us solutions? And they will be like, yeah, we will give you solutions. Just hire us in your HR. You know, put us in your HR, and we're going to fix your company. And once they would get into HR, they would start firing people that were of the wrong mindset and hire more of their friends, because these people are very incestuous. Eventually convince the company that they need the diversity officers and, you know, people that cost thousands of dollars per month. And yeah, that's literally what happened. And once the co-option was complete, once every single mainstream AAA gaming company was parasited, there was no need for Anita, which is why she became irrelevant. Like, you can point out that her hyping up was so artificial by looking on her channel right now. Like, no one cares, you know? And it's on her, to be honest. Like, she managed to get into this, and she doesn't play games, she doesn't like it, and she could have learned how to play games, you would think. Like, she would have at least, alright, you know, like, I made a career out of this, I'm making a good profit, let me at least learn how to play some video games and, you know, then actually have some commentary. Because there is a market for social justice commentary in video games. Like the Jimquisition, for example. It's making good money. Sean and Jen gets good traction. Like there is a market, but she's not getting any. Because even the left-leaning, you know, they will give lip service and try to defend her and stuff, but they don't watch her work. She's not famous for her gaming critique, she's famous for her death threats. And, you know, like, it's going to work for a while, but after a while it dries up. So anyway, apparently she went and gone bankrupt. Now, a lot of people say, why do you keep talking about her? You know, like, she's not relevant. You talking about her make her relevant. No, it's not YouTubers that made her relevant. It's the mainstream media that made her relevant. The mainstream media keeps talking about her. You know, and if YouTubers weren't talking about her, then the conversation would have only been one-sided. So no, like, if you look at it, like, she even got money from the government. There's grant fundings, and there's schools that I know that were teaching her thing. Corporate donation, 95,000, right, and $137,000 from individual people. It's insane, right? And she managed to get $500,000 almost, right? Almost $500,000, and she wasted it, right? So I watched a lot of videos on it. I watched the Quarterling, I watched the Gundam, and I think all of them don't get it, because all of them say, oh, she didn't know how to manage the income. She was bad at managing the income. Like, how can you waste so much money with only a YouTube channel that barely has any editing in it? Like, you can go now on YouTube from leftists, like, I don't know, Angry Joe, or, the Jinquisition, and they have far better editing than Anita Sarkeesian, and they don't get $500,000 in order to throw away on a project. But what I think is happening here is what's happening in Eastern Europe. It's very similar, to the point where I would bet money that this is the case. And this is how money is being stolen in Eastern Europe. This is how corruption works here. Let's say that you want to make $1 million, and you happen to be a good friend, or even better yet, a relative of a mayor. How can you make $1 million? Well, you need to have a construction company. You open your own construction company or something, and the mayor says, we need a new road. So they will usually, what's being done is that they will auction to different companies the workload to build that road. And the mayor rigs the auction in order so that his friend or his relative wins. And once they win, they go like, well, it's going to cost $1 million. And, it's obviously like 10 times or 100 times or 1,000 times the price. But, and then when they build the road, they even build it incredibly poorly, that in like 1 or 2 years, the road starts having holes and cracks in it, and cars get damaged by driving there. But this is how they steal money, right? Now, in the case of Anita Sarkeesian, it's not theft, because she's a private company, doesn't do business with the government or anything. But you get like this big chunk of cash, right? You get like $500,000, and then you're going to hire some guy to work on your channel that's some friend of yours, or a person that you're indebted to, or a person that was promoting you, and now you need to do him a favor, right? So let's say that the job, I don't know, some editing job, let's say it costs $3,000, where you're going to give him like $30,000. And you're going to surround yourself with all these parasites that need to be paid, because either they did favors to you, or maybe you want favors from them, or you're just friends with them, and you want to just hire them so that they can profit out of these donations. And it's all at the expense of the people that are paying in, because most people, like these individual donations, it's like, oh my god, it's a girl being harassed, let's help her out so she can sleep soundly at night, but in reality, like, this money would just disappear. It's a black hole. This is what happens with most of the activist money, like when you give it to PETA or something, instead of actually going to help animals, it's going for them to make some activism with the Virgin Mary hugging a dead chicken or some shit, But anyway, I digress, right? So this is how I think she managed to squander the money. It's not that she didn't know what she's doing, it's that she probably had obligations, as we call it in Romania, towards the people who promoted her in the press, or towards the friends of those people. Like, if you followed the money, you'd probably find very interesting things. That's my opinion, right? This is what I think. Now, apparently, she's bankrupt, so she's trying literally everything. Like, she tried to blackmail. She tried to blackmail CD Projekt Red. Hey, I heard you guys are getting really problematic nowadays. If you hire me, I'll make sure that people don't call you a sexist. Which is kind of funny, because last year she was calling CD Projekt Red the sexist company, her and Macintosh. But anyway, that's neither here or there. I wanted to point out that the owner of Bitchute, the CEO, tweeted out that it's a great honor and a pleasure to welcome Feminist Frequency to Bitchute. Please give them a warm welcome, as we're really happy to see them there. I guess, alright, that's a good thing. I like it. I'm not going to say I don't like it, because this is more people on Bitchute. Like we need to build alternative platforms, and this is why I prefer YouTube than any other platform. It's because you have like different people and you can interact with more people. So but here's what's interesting. Apparently, for Patreon fans, so if you give money to Sarkisian, there's currently a bonus tier where you can get yourself written into a feminist frequency fan fiction. Tempting. Maybe we could do a Bitchute character. Check this podcast. I think Ethan Van Sciver should get in on it. I think EVS should definitely pay money so that he can appear in Anita Sarkeesian. Can you imagine how money hungry she is? Like, apparently her staff are telling that they don't get paid anymore. So, I'm really curious if she's that hungry for cash that she would make like a Sargon fictional character. Maybe a Thunderfoot, huh? If I would make Sargon a fictional character, Anita, I would make him like human garbage, right? Like a trash can, which, he comes the arms out of, and that would be great. Still, I wouldn't give her money. Give me money, because I need money. I definitely need money. I will not waste it like this, because I don't hire anyone. so therefore, I hire my cats, actually. Man, I should make a cat video soon. Maybe next month. Do let me know what you think, and I'm looking forward to hearing from you guys.